Marceline, Missouri is the town that Walt Disney called his hometown, but you may be surprised to know that Walt only spent 5 years of his early childhood there, leaving Marceline for Kansas City at the age of 9. However, Walt's relatively brief time in Marceline had such a huge impact on him that as an adult, he went so far as to say, "More things of importance have happened to me in Marceline than have happened since or are likely to in the future." So what happened to Walt Disney in Marceline? How did it impact his future work? And what does it mean for Disney fans today? Hey extraordinary people, I'm Daniel, and I could just tell you about Marceline, but why would I do that when I could actually take you there myself? Computer. Where is she? Computer. Oh, there you are.
Everyone always asks where is computer. No one asks how is computer.
I'm sorry. How are you, computer?
Horrible.
Horrible? Why?
You haven't had me in a video in forever.
Well, okay, look, I'm sorry, okay? I've been trying some different things and, look, I need you to take us to Main Street, USA.
What's the magic word?
Please?
Alright. Teleporting to Main Street, USA.
I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. It's the heart of America, the heartbeat of a holiday. The place was made with a magical plan, and just around the corner is a fantasy land. I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA. I hear the music playing from the old-time ragtime band. I feel the whole place swaying with the people from across the land. You see the greatest smiling faces up and down the street. It's remarkable how friendly all the people can be. I'm walking right down the middle of Main Street, USA.
That's right. Main Street, USA in Disneyland was based on Walt's memories of Marceline, and the town today is nearly identical to how Walt found it over 100 years ago. There's all kinds of really cool historical places here too, like the Uptown Theater, where the children of Marceline sang the Mickey Mouse March for Walt at the premiere of The Great Locomotive Chase. One of Walt's favorite places in town was the Santa Fe Railway Station, which is now the Walt Disney Hometown Museum. This museum is a national treasure and a must-see if you're a Disney fan. It tells the entire story of Walt Disney and Marceline. Walt was born in Chicago to parents Elias and Flora and was the fourth of 5 children: Herbert, Raymond, Roy, Walt, and Ruth. Most of what you see in the museum was donated by Ruth and her family. Walt's parents decided that the big city was no place to raise their children, so they bought some farmland near where Elias's brother Robert lived, in Marceline. I can only imagine how Walt felt after trading the crowded city streets of Chicago for the forests, fields, and wide open spaces of Missouri. He had all the room he wanted to run around, play, and explore. Walt immediately fell in love with nature, and it's easy to see where the inspiration for things like his True Life Adventure series or Adventureland originally came from. Walt also fell in love with the railroad in Marceline. The Santa Fe Railway Station was an important stop on the railroad, and even today, 70 trains pass through Marceline every single day. Walt's uncle Mike Martin was an engineer, and Walt loved to wait by the tracks and listen for approaching trains. He even went so far as to climb into a cab once, pull the whistle cord, and run away before anyone could catch him. Walt's love of trains never went away, and as an adult, Walt built an entire miniature train set in his backyard that he named the Carrollwood Pacific. It was also one of his first ideas for Disneyland to have a train, the Disneyland Railroad, circling the entire park. Walt's favorite place in Marceline, though, was his dreaming tree, a giant cottonwood tree where he would sit and practice drawing. Every time Walt visited Marceline as an adult, he would always request some time alone under his dreaming tree. He said it was the birthplace of his creativity. As I just mentioned, Walt loved to visit Marceline as an adult and recall his fond childhood memories. On one visit, the school he attended as a child was renamed the Walt Disney Elementary School in his honor, and Walt had Disney character murals drawn on the walls, special Disney character playground equipment built for the schoolyard, and he even gave them a special Mickey Mouse flag. However, the coolest thing Walt Disney did for Marceline was to donate a Disneyland ride to the city. The only time in history Disney has ever moved a ride from one of its theme parks and opened it somewhere other than another Disney theme park. That ride is the Midget Autopia. Now, while the word midget is considered kind of offensive today, historically it was simply a way to refer to anything smaller than normal. Now, Autopia is a Disneyland ride that lets you drive a miniature car around a track. It's actually the only ride currently in Tomorrowland that was there when the park opened. While there's only one Autopia in Disneyland today, there used to be 3 Autopias: the full-size Autopia, the slightly smaller Junior Autopia, and the smallest, Midget Autopia. Today, only the full-size Autopia still runs in Disneyland. Midget Autopia was removed in 1966, and Walt decided to donate it to Marceline. He wanted to come and dedicate the ride himself, but was unable to because of a cough that he couldn't shake. The cough turned out to be from lung cancer, and Walt tragically died only months later. Midget Autopia ultimately ran in Marceline for 11 years, 2 years longer than the 9 years it had run in Disneyland. Today, there's only a concrete track where the ride used to be. The Walt Disney Hometown Museum has tried to get the ride back up and running, but so far they haven't been successful. Now, a lot of the rest of what's in the Walt Disney Hometown Museum doesn't necessarily relate to the overall topic of this video, but I want to show it to you anyway because it's really awesome. They have a ton of memorabilia from Walt's life, and they also have a rotating collection of broader Disney memorabilia on loan from private collectors around the world. There's way too much here to show you all of it, but I'll show you some of my favorite things. This is a Disneyland 50th Anniversary Sword and Shield. These are street signs from the Disneyland Resort. These are 1940s era Mickey Mouse comic books. These are 1940s era vinyl records of Disney audiobooks. This is wallpaper from Walt's Disneyland apartment. This is a piece of track from Walt Disney's Carolwood Pacific Railroad. These are paintings that were signed by Walt. This plush safari Mickey isn't necessarily that interesting, but I have one exactly like it from my first trip to Disney World when I was around 5 or 6. There's also a bunch of different things from the Disney hotels and Disney parks. This is the TV that Walt sent his mother Flora to watch the opening of Disneyland on. This is one of the original light tables that Walt Disney animated on. And this is a collection of Disneyland models by artist Dale Varner, who impressed Walt with his models so much that Walt actually gave him the Disneyland blueprints to work off of. The last thing in the museum I want to talk about is this section, which shows Walt Disney's unrealized plans for a theme park in Marceline, known only as the Marceline Project. Even though the project was never built, Walt actually went so far as to design the park and even buy the land. The Midget Autopia was only the first of many rides Walt wanted to install across Marceline, but unfortunately he died shortly after making the plans, and the project couldn't move forward without him. Interestingly, there's a paragraph at the bottom of the museum section about the Marceline Project that says this: "The concept of completing Walt's Marceline Project is still a working project within the Walt Disney Hometown Museum. With your support, we are committed to keeping his magical dream alive." I have no idea what they're planning to do, but whatever it is, I hope they succeed. Alright, so when the Disney family lived in Marceline, they lived in what's now the Disney Family Farmhouse. Now, the Disney Family Farmhouse is privately owned and not open to the public. In case you're wondering who lives there, it's actually the director of the Walt Disney Hometown Museum, and she actually knew Walt when she was a child. And while she obviously needs her privacy, I mean, she lives there after all, she has opened part of the property to the public, specifically the site of Walt's Dreaming Tree and Walt's Barn. Although the original Dreaming Tree was struck by lightning and died in 2008, a sapling from the Dreaming Tree, the son of Dreaming Tree, was planted nearby using soil from the Magic Kingdom and water from the rivers of America. The other place you can visit on the Disney farm is Walt's Barn. Now, it's not Walt's original barn, it's actually a recreation of a recreation. You see, Walt had a barn built in his backyard in California that matched his memories of his family's barn in Marceline. It was in this barn that he designed and worked on his Carolwood Pacific Railway. Walt's barn in Marceline was built by volunteer Disney fans in 2001 using the blueprints from Walt's barn in California. Inside the barn, you're encouraged to leave your name and a message to Walt, and as you can see, the interior is covered in names and messages. I, of course, left my own Disney-inspired autograph. Walt Disney has become such an icon that sometimes it's easy to forget that he was just a human being. But being in this simple barn that Walt loved so much, it was hard to think of him as anything but. When I look at all the messages left on these walls, or see the crowds of people who visit the Disney parks every day, it's easy to see that Walt left an enormous impact on millions of people around the world. And that's exactly why we need to see the side of Walt Disney that we can only see in Marceline. You see, as Disney fans, we tend to idolize Walt Disney's success. We look up to him, we aspire to being like him, and we try to chase our dreams with the same wholehearted enthusiasm that he did. And while following your dreams is absolutely a good and worthwhile thing to do, it can become far too easy to assess our value or base our happiness on whether or not we accomplish everything we set out to. It's telling that Walt Disney didn't view his life the way that we view him. When Walt looked back on the best years of his life, he didn't look back at his money or his fame or his accomplishments. Instead, he said that the most important things in his life happened in a place most people would overlook, a small town in the middle of nowhere. It was here, though, that Walt Disney first discovered the simple pleasures of life. It was here that he first learned how to dream. It was here that he formed his first fond memories with his family. And it was here that for the first time in his life, he felt truly happy. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and remember that you're extraordinary. I love all of you so much. Bye. 'Cause you're extraordinary. Yes, you know it's true. Extraordinary. That's why I